You're watching CustomVida.com.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for the invite, man. I appreciate that.
So let me give you a proper, introduction. Mack Shot it. Out there, Seattle, Washington. Photographer, videographer, lowrider. Um, you know, we were in Seattle on Monday, Memorial Day. He invited me out a couple months back. Shoot, been a while, huh?
Yeah, man. And it was in the works for a while, but it felt like when it got closer, like it was, it was a lot easier. It seemed like it was kind of hectic in the beginning when I tried to get you out here because your schedule, everything. I don't know. We had a lot of conversations before, but when it came time to you actually coming out here, it felt like everything went real smooth, man. So I appreciate the time.
Yeah, it did. It was crazy because all kinds of different events popped up in between, right? I mean, at first it was like, oh, there ain't nothing much happening. Then all of a sudden it was Portland and every other event started popping up in May and all that stuff. So, but I mean, I wish I could have got out there earlier with the weather and everything, but you know what? It was a really good day. So can you give me a little history about the event there at the park on Memorial Day?
So yeah, I mean, there's other people in here obviously who can give a little bit more than what I can actually about it. But I've been going to Seward Park for like the last, I would say, 8 years with my club, and it's just something where all the clubs in the Northwest, they all come down, get together for Memorial Weekend, and they just lined up. You seen how big the park is, and you seen how packed it was. That's just a tradition that the lawyers have been doing for a long time. I can't exactly put a number on how many years it's been, but it's been for a while. And it's just a really good thing that they all get together and they're able to come out. You seen all the barbecuers out there, just all the clubs that was out there. So sometimes it's a lot of people who aren't able to get to all the shows throughout the year, so they come out to Seward Park. They know that's going to be there every single year, same day at the park. The city knows that we're there. You seen how when the park people, they pulled up, they were looking at the car, spectating, making sure everything was good, and that was it. So, I mean, it's just an event that they do every single year for Memorial. And it's like before, when it was first going on, like when I first attended it, it was like it kind of shocked me because it was a lot of people who I didn't get to see throughout the year. Some of the lowriders I didn't even know were out here. A lot of different clubs, a lot of solo riders. So that's something that we all look forward to because it is a lot of people who can't get out there throughout the year. They all attend that show.
Yeah, that's a good thing, and that goes to show you. I mean, it's the same. Like even when like out here locally where I'm at in San Jose, you'll see certain cars that come to certain, once in a while events. You won't see them at the car shows. You won't see them at even some of the cruises. But once a year, whatever, traditionally something that comes out, then you get those certain cars. The people will bring it out because to them, they want it. They want it. Not everybody's always functioning like every lowrider every weekend and stuff like that. But
well, I think it's a really good event. I think it's a good event because there's no trophies involved in it. There's nothing about, hey, I'm trying to, get first place over here at Seward Park. It's never been about trophies. It's all about everybody just getting together, barbecuing, sharing each other's food, just enjoying each other's company, seeing each other's progress on the vehicles, seeing the clubs out there. And once again, the solo riders who, want to come out, everybody feels welcome at that event. You're not out there looking to do anything else but just to relax with the family. So it's a really good event.
I saw the camaraderie. Yeah, I saw the camaraderie and the people. I loved it. Was very diverse. Yeah. So there was big wheels, there was lowriders, there was trucks. There was lifted trucks. There was different types of people, and everybody either knew each other or they were all cool with each other. I just got like a really good vibe. It was really what I keep telling people in the lowrider community. like more than what people understand, everybody's welcome. And when you have that vibe and everybody's about, the cars, it may be, the car might the engine might be built for, for doing, donuts and racing and stuff like that. Or, you're there for the low and slow. I saw a lot of Monte Carlos. I saw a ton of
Yeah.
G-body Monte Carlos there. I was tripping out on that because everywhere I was like, oh, it's always Cutlasses or Regals. But you guys had Montes.
Yeah, it's very diverse over here. I say all the clubs, it's not just focused on, hey, let's get this type of car, let's get this type of vehicle. Everybody just brings out what they can build, and it's very diverse over here. That's what I loved about growing up over here in Seattle. So it makes me feel very welcome. It doesn't make me feel out of the box when I go to these other areas, because a lot of places, they'll be less diverse, or they'll have more dominant of these people.
Mhm.
It just being up here in the Pacific Northwest, I would say, like, just the way it is. I don't know. It's been something about up here. I guess maybe because the lowrider community is so like so close together up here, that
Yeah.
it's just been the same way for a long time. So we've all grown up around each other. Our uncles have kicked it with the this club's uncles, and then we grew up kicking it with their nephews, and now we're over here lowriding. So it's kind of just been like that. It's all been the everybody can depend on each other when it comes to those shows. You seen, or I think you missed the day before. Shout out to the Homeboys Car Club who came up from Oregon. They had mishaps on the vehicle. One of my club actually came out, spared a part and got them right. We didn't look for anything. We just wanted to get the homies right because they had drove all the way up from Oregon just to come kick it with us, to come cruise, and they had a good time. You got them on video. They were showing out. And that's what
Yeah.
we're talking about, camaraderie. We're
They're
trying to
hitting
make
that three
everybody feel
wheel.
welcome when they come up here to the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. So tell me about how long have you been into doing what you're doing? You're doing photography and video, and you're documenting the lowrider scene out there. What made you pick up a camera? What got you into that part?
Well, I mean, I've been low riding with my car club already for about 10 years over here in my area with Misty Little Car Club. Um,
Mm.
but I only picked up the camera last year. And to be honest with you guys, and this ain't to be like, oh, this dude, I was out there and there wasn't that many photographers, but when I would go and cruise and whatnot, I wouldn't see my car out there in any of the pictures when they would be uploading them up online. So it made me feel like I wasn't out there. So I was like, man, I'm gonna go get a camera and I'm gonna start documenting and filming everybody. It doesn't matter what they're driving. I'm gonna get them out here and just start uploading the pictures. And I feel like slowly over time, I would say in like about 5 months, man, the support from everybody up here in the lowrider game, they just started spreading the word, spreading the word. The homie, I got to, get tapped in with the homie Saints Lowe's,
Mm.
actually at the Northwest, or the King of the Northwest Hop. I met him there. I was out there just filming. A couple of people told him about me. We shook hands, got to talking, and now I'm representing Low Society with him. But it was it was at that time, that's what it was, man. Is I just wanted to pick up a camera and document everybody. That's really what it was. I didn't think I was trying to be better than anybody, or I was gonna be able to tap in with anybody. I just wanted to document my city, because I see
Yeah.
all the cars that are out here, whether they're putting in a couple hours what they can a week and want to get out there and cruise, to the people who are doing full frame off restorations. Everybody still at the end of the day is a lowrider, right? You turn your
Yeah.
wrench, do what you can. You staying up late nights to go out there and cruise. Maybe it shouldn't even be out there in the street like myself, but we still out there cruising. It's that type of stuff. You see, filming all that, like the home, young people coming out there with their bikes and being out there with their parents and building their own little, lowriders and pedal cars and all that stuff. I just wanted to document it more, and that's what got me more into it. And having the backing of my club, the people up here in the Northwest, man, it made it a lot easier. So that's really what it was. That's how it all started, man. And from here on out, I just told everybody, I was like, I just really wanted to put my city on. Seattle is who Seattle is. We have their cars. They
Yeah.
have been doing what they've been doing before I started doing anything. But all I said is I
Mm.
just want to show them just a little bit more. Film because I'm out there every cruise, man. Every single weekend I'm out there. It doesn't matter if it's, raining or not, I'm out there.
Yeah. Well,
But I mean, that's
that's
really how it started.
yeah. It's consistency. I mean, from me, the same thing. I got tired. A lot of people said low riding was dead when I really started like pushing the issue with the camera. And it was like '05. We had the crazy gas prices like we have now. And I just started doing videos and I kept doing it. And I was doing, everything was San Jose because that's where I'm from, everything. And then eventually, it just kind of branched out to other things. And that's the way, to me, it was always just consistency, constantly putting out content. And that's what I always tell anybody for like YouTube and for photography, you have to just keep pushing, put out, even if you could pick one or the other, you know, like one day you can only do photography and then one day you can only do video, then that's the way to go. But just keep pushing, dude, because you're doing it and you're making a name for yourself. You're doing what you're doing there out there, and you know it shows. You're speaking up. I mean, to get me out there was really it was an honor. It was it was something that to me to go out and cover the event. To me, being out in these other cities and other places that are not, it's not LA, it's not San Diego, it's not the Bay Area, it's not Arizona. And those places are all great, but I really do, like, I have this thing for going to these other communities that haven't been either really given their just dues, and I'm trying, and for you guys to want me to go out there under my Pinches Lowriders brand for my YouTube channel and shine a light on what you guys do out there. That's a big humbling thing for me because it's letting me know that I am getting that reach and I'm making things happen. And it's the other, photographers like you that understand, what we're all trying to do here because we're trying to, show everybody what we could do, what we have in the lowrider community. So thank you.
I mean, and that was another thing too, is like, I've been watching your YouTube channel for a while,
Mm.
and that's one of the things that I try to tell everybody out here was like, we have to watch videos of California with your boulevard and, Arizona, all that stuff. We have to watch everything from over there, which is a blessing, that lowriders are as big as it is over there. But up here in the Pacific Northwest, I feel like, unless somebody's doing it ourselves, we don't get that recognition, or they're not going to, these people out here, they're not going to see themselves on camera. And, it's always something when, the following you have on YouTube and everybody tapped in with you, and, you go everywhere,
Yeah.
everybody knows your name. So to get you out here, to even for myself to hit you up at the time, because I didn't have the following or anything like that, but I just asked you, I said, I would love to get you out here in Seattle. And I know at the time you're probably like, man, yeah, we'll talk about it. But I was really, I was determined to get you out here. And you remember, I kept hitting you up. I was like, hey,
Yep.
how's your schedule looking? How's your schedule looking? And you kept telling me, oh, well, we'll wait a little bit. We'll wait a little bit. I was like, you let me know what you need. I'll get you out here. And,
Yeah.
so I just wanted you to know that I was really trying to get you up here. And at that point in time, when you were asking me, well, what event, what would it be? And leading up to that time right now, it was that Seward Park. That was
Yeah.
something that felt like that was something you could cover a lot of people because once again, that was just something where everybody was going to be at. So, and I had asked a lot of people out here, I said, how do you guys feel about Pinches Lowriders coming up here? And they're like, yo, if he wants to, man, if you can get him up here, if he wants to get up here, please get him up here. We'd love to get on YouTube and do all that we can. So, that was just something big credit to you for even wanting to take the time to come up here to Seattle. And that was the thing, as I tried to tell you before, we're not like everywhere else. We only have a couple months to lowride. We don't get
Yeah.
that, 8
Well,
months, nothing like that.
exactly. Well, that's what I was going to bring up. But, I was like, so I think, not everybody has like, you go to LA, they can low ride all year long. It
Yeah,
fairly rains. The Bay Area, we have your typical summer, your spring until probably late, I guess, maybe September, October, maybe mid. And not everybody has that. You guys get the rain like crazy. And, that sent me back a day. I was only able to do one day there. But man, I tell you, it was a lot and it was good. It was good. It was definitely good. But I think that
that's
also
what
makes you,
sucks too. Like,
you guys
it's
always but you value your time. You know what I mean? You
right.
know that
Yes.
you got limited, so you got to make the best of it. And I've talked to people in Chicago. They're the same thing. They have a really short summer. So when the lowriders out there, it's all the same. They have to do everything they need to do within that timeline.
And that's what I feel it is like it's real compact. These seasons over here, you get everything just real like, back to back to back to back. They're every week. We go from not doing anything during the winter time to the summer's coming and we're just every single week and we're out. So
Yeah.
I mean it's an enjoyable thing for us, and I feel like that's why, these events you get a lot of different people coming out is because we just want to enjoy lowriding, right? I was like, once again, I was
Yeah.
like, I know down there in Cali and everywhere else, everybody comes out every single week too. And it's enjoyable. And we're not saying that our seasons are more enjoyable than anybody else's or nothing like that. We're just saying we enjoy it as much as you guys do. Just we have a little bit shorter months to do it in.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, but that just makes your community, you got to be active. I mean, at the end of the day, there's kind of like no time for you know, I guess sitting around. You gotta go out and make the best of it. And I think that's probably why you guys have such a great tight knit community with everybody. It seems like I said, I saw nothing but love. I saw nothing but great hospitality. Everybody greeted me, and I got people that even didn't talk to me. They were hitting me up in my inbox. Hey, I didn't get a chance to say hi to you, but thanks for coming out. I'm getting people thanking me this whole week. I've been getting people in my inbox and new followers, of course, and that stuff. Like I said, it humbles me. It gives me the motivation to keep going and keep doing things. And I definitely got to get out there at least once a year, if more than that, if possible, whenever possible. So
Well, I told you, I was like, hey, we'll talk. Believe me, I was like, we're gonna talk again about something, later on. But this is for everybody out there. It's always reach out. That's what
mm,
that's what I said to myself too. I just wanted to reach out because the worst that anybody's gonna tell you is no, right? What I mean? That's
yeah,
that's how I looked at it with you. That's why I DM'd you. And
mm,
shout out to Long Beach Lord. I did the same thing with him. He has a hell of a following over there in California, and everybody
yeah,
messed with him too. And it's just like you gotta take a chance. At the end of the day,
yeah,
like, you're never gonna know unless you try it. And to my city, to Seattle and Washington as a whole, everybody backing what I'm doing right now and helping out and supporting. That's the type of stuff that gets us further. It's just unity in the community, right? Just people just supporting each other. That's the big thing. It's like how you gonna go somewhere else and try and do whatever you're gonna do without showing your city love first. And that's just how
yeah.
what I believe in. That's why I try to get everything to Seattle as much as possible and just get us what we the credit that I feel like it deserves because there is no real light on Seattle right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll do what we can. I think that so when I update my Custom Vida website, I'm gonna put you as the YouTube channel of the month, so people can start kind of going over there.
Right.
Um, I'm gonna share you, of course, on the Pinches Lowriders and the Custom Vida. Obviously, this is gonna be on the podcast.
Appreciate
And for the people
it.
that are out there, go hit him up. If you follow me on YouTube at all, go follow him. Check it out. Like I said, you're gonna see something different. His camera dynamic is different. But you're gonna see Seattle. You're not gonna see 100 photographers and videographers in LA or right there on Whittier or wherever Van Nuys. You're going to get to see some different. And I think that is something. If you really do enjoy lowriding, you really got to spend time and look at the different communities and what they're doing out there because that's really important. We don't realize, and some people, some people say, oh, LA's this or New Mexico's this, but we're all lowriding. And at the end of the day, you got to remember it's the power of the people when it comes down to lowriding and showing our numbers, and our numbers count wherever we're at.
And this is what I hope that somebody does get out. And I appreciate that. All that what you're giving me and shouting me out. Thank you. I really do. I'm humble. I appreciate that a lot. What I would say too is before we even go any further is that hopefully that somebody out here from the Pacific Northwest or anywhere watching these is that they could tap in and see what I'm doing or see what yourself is doing and kind of get encouraged to try and do the same thing. At least get out there and just try it, right? That's really what,
Absolutely.
it'd be good if somebody does that. I know there's a couple people out here in Seattle. Like you said, you said right now that all the videographers or photographers out there in California, even though there's a lot of them, you might see, the same thing a couple times. Everybody does have their own angles, their own shots, their own vision of what they see
Yeah,
in photography and videography. And I just hope I can get more people out here to do the same, to want to pick up a camera or at least start uploading more at the shows, taking as many pictures as they possibly can, getting it out. That's really what it is because the more people who put out what we're doing, the bigger it's going to be. It'll never die out again. Low riding, as long as we keep it alive, it'll never die out. It's just that simple.
exactly. And that comes down to where people don't see how valuable as social media people, maybe Instagram or YouTube. And I always get a lot of people, well, I don't have an Instagram, I don't have Facebook. Okay, but most of the people are watching my YouTube stuff, so that's fine. But that's how you support it. Like this is how it really is now. It's you're gonna find out about the cruises, you're gonna find out about the car shows, you're gonna find out what's happening where by the social media, the photographers and the videographers that are out nowadays, because that's what we're here for. We're here to showcase all this stuff. You can't pick up a magazine like you used to just to figure out what's going on where. And but this is the place, social media as a whole in the lowrider community, it is absolutely abundant, and there's all kinds of people, and everybody has their own style, and they cover their own thing. But this is really where you're going to come to find out, what's happening where, and this is why it's good to like. I have there's two other photographers that I work with, and one's in New Mexico. He was sending me a bunch of clips from the Super Show that's going to happen this Sunday, and you know it's like, so it's a network, you know and that's where it's coming down to. I think we're going to be doing a lot of networking, and it's going to be, I think we're really going to be able to cross reference a lot of events and get, for the people that don't know, they're going to know now. And it's going to be like, because of people like you, there's going to be people that are like miles away from where you're at that didn't know Seattle did it like that.
No, and that's what I really want to give a credit to my city, because everybody thinks that it's myself. I was like, nobody would care about me if I was out there filming just my car. You know what I mean? Nobody cares about that. They want to see, well, I really, to be honest, I don't know what people want to see. I just film what I want to see, to be honest with you guys. I don't know
Yeah,
what you guys like to see on the other side. I don't know if you guys like to see three-wheel and hopping more, or cruise and burning out. So I don't know what you guys really want to see more. I just film what I think I would love to see on YouTube, what I've always watched, you know what I mean? Or Instagram
exactly.
Reels, whatever it is, because, people's attention span ain't 10 minutes. It's not a 10-minute long
Exactly.
video anymore.
Exactly.
You have, to grab somebody's attention. Like right now, somebody will be in here and they'll leave quick. You'll hear us talking
Yeah,
about something and they'll bounce up out of here, not knowing the whole, what we're really talking about. But
exactly.
I feel like this lowrider game, I just want to elaborate on this real quick, right? Is that the lowrider game right now has given me a lot in this past year. Regardless of how long I've been lowriding, this past year in particular has given me a lot. From the support to the models who I've worked with down there in Portland, at the Super Show, and then up here in Seattle at Sewer Park. And then
Mhm.
working with you, working with Sing, and that all came from the lowrider community. You know what I mean? I was like, and
Yeah,
that was the thing I tried to say. I was like, people have different perceptions of what low riding is. Maybe they think it's all about shows or cruising or trophies or getting out there trying to show off, whatever it is, whatever they think it might be. All I can say is that the low rider game for me is giving me nothing but unity, more respect in the game, giving me more respect for other people, a lot more, and able to cherish the time that I have, here low riding and being with my club and being with my family and just being, out here photography and all these events, because I don't take none of this for granted, right? Anything
yeah,
can happen any day to anybody. So when I get out there, I try to have as much fun as possible. That's why when you see me out there, I'm always trying to get around, say what's up to everybody, walk to every tent, say what's up. Just try to get around.
yeah.
That's just from low riding. So that's why I really do this as much as possible. But another thing too is I give credit to the photographers and videographers. Man, everybody wants the pictures like that. They want them right now. I'm just like, man, this takes time. I was like, Rick, we've talked about this, man. I was like, it takes time. So I have a newfound respect for all the videographers and photographers, for yourself too, because you're like, oh yeah, it'll be out tomorrow. I'm like, damn. I was like, hold on. I was like, wait a little bit. I was like, let me at least try and get mine out.
Well, yeah, it's like I try to push out one video and then I'll rest. Like then everything else will come out like when I'm ready. I literally spent about a day in bed because, man, my legs. I was running around the whole weekend, and then being at that park. Ooh, them uphill. I walked that park a couple times. So I'll tell you, my feet were numb, my ankles were sore. I was like, damn. Like
I try to tell you,
I need to
don't
go
walk
back to
the
the gym
park. I try to
because
always
I
gotta
need to go
hop
back
on
to
low
the
rider, bro.
gym.
Don't walk the park.
I'm gonna be hitting. I'm be hitting 45 this month, so it's catching up. But I'm like, damn, it took me a day and a half to recover. I got one video out, and I was like, okay, once that was done, I'm like, I'm gonna rest. That's what I had to do. It. I had to rest. So, but it was good.
It
It was
was
well worth it.
myself included. We went on the cruise. You know how long we were out there for, and I wasn't leaving, so I made sure that you were good, and I made sure that the homie was good. That's just not me.
Yeah.
I like to bounce on anybody when we're out there. I like to wait till I know that the homies are straight, and I'll go ahead and take off. But I know one thing real quick that I wanted to ask you that I don't think I've ever got to ask you this question, right? Is that
Yeah.
if you had people coming up right now, some people don't want to hit you up or talk to you, you know what I mean? Or they might just, don't want to DM you or whatever. But what advice would you give to somebody coming up who is a videographer, photographer, just trying to get out there and shoot?
Well, the best thing I can. This is what. do as much as you can. Consistency at the end of the day. Um, I learned everything I did about editing because a lot of people have fear. Like I know guys that are like, I'm scared. I don't know how to edit video or whatever. What you do is just watch YouTube. I'm an advocate for that, but you know what? That's how I learned. I really did. And if there's something you can't find, you search it on YouTube, and then there's somebody telling you how to do it. It they might have a tutorial, but they'll leave certain things out. Well, you can find someone else that's talking about those things that the other guy left out. So, it's self-taught. I think that I just kept with it and kept doing it, and I tell everybody to do that. Stay for the most part. If you could stay as independent as possible and network with people, that's a good thing. And like I said, just stay consistent. Just keep doing it. Do something as much as you possibly can. Don't if it's once a week or once a month, um, and you could spend a lot of time on it or whatever, then do it. If you can only go to like a cruise for an hour, then do it. Just do it. I mean, you really just have to stay consistent and keep going. I'll look at some photos from in the past for years ago, and I'm like, these are ugly. Like they were badass when I took them, but to me, I'm like, this is horrible. Or even old videos and stuff. And I'm just like, what was I doing? But it's also, I had different cameras, and and don't judge yourself by your camera. I know some people do really good with phones that do really good work, and you don't even know that that's all they're using is a phone. But you build your camera gear. You don't. It's not really about that. I know people with very expensive cameras that can't take a picture for shit. And I know people that have, your basic, starter model, and they're great. They got a great eye. So it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with your consistency across the board. It's effort and consistency. That's what I'll tell anybody.
Okay, yeah, and that's good advice right there. I really appreciate that too. And that's what I would and one thing that I would add to that is don't try and shoot like anybody else. And don't try and take your photos like anybody else, or don't try and edit like somebody else. Do
Mm-hmm.
exactly what is appealing to your eye, because it's at the end of the day,
Exactly.
your art, it's your work. And that's one thing that I had to get through to myself when I was first shooting, because I would look at people like yourself, Dream On Photography, Gooseneck, just a lot of different photographers, and I'm like, man, how do they shoot like that? I want to ask these questions. And then I ended up just stopped looking and just started just taking my own pictures. And you get your view, you get to see the angles that you like, you get to see, that just a vision that you want to see on camera, you get to produce it. So that's why I say
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter about the camera. I had an old camera when I first started. I barely upgraded like 3 months ago, so I don't think the camera work really matters. Just keep shooting exactly like you said. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really good.
The only difference between a better camera is it just makes it a little bit easier. It just makes it a little bit easier. That's what it comes down to. I mean, it gets more expensive, but it just gives you a creative, edge to do a little bit easier. But at the end of the day, it is you. It's always you. People say, "Oh, your camera's really good." No, no, no. I don't know if you ever heard that. Like, you show somebody a picture, like, "Oh, you got a really good camera," and it's like, yo, the camera didn't take the pit to press the button. I did, but that's how some people see it, and they don't realize that it's not even. It's just a tool. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you just do the best what you can with the tools that you have, and then later on you invest in some other stuff to make life easier. That's really what it comes down to. The better camera, it just makes life easier. But it's if you're doing great shots and you don't need to change your camera, then don't. I mean, to me, that's the whole thing. I bought a bunch of camera gear because I felt like it, because I was investing in having multiple things, because I could do different things, weddings, low riding. You need different stuff for
I
that.
feel like, and then on top of that too, I feel like nowadays though, we have all this different equipment it's all a camera. You can make a movie out of your phone. If you really think about it, like you could buy a little lens to cover the camera, and you can make a movie on it. And that's why I
Yeah.
said, I was like, that's for somebody. Somebody else wants to, use a Canon, use a Sony, use a Fuji, whatever they want to use. It's just whatever you feel like comfortable to you. That's what I would suggest. You go and do, because that's what happened with me. Is I did a little bit of work on the Sony, worked with
Mm.
one, bought the next one, and it's been comfortable for me. It does
Yeah.
exactly what I needed to do for myself.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So I would have one more thing before, we go ahead and let each other go off of this. I would say, what was the biggest highlight for yourself that you weren't expecting from Seattle when you came up here?
Well, I
Gotta,
mean, honestly, I mean, honestly, uh, the diversity in the cars.
right.
Um, I mean, you guys had the late 70 Monte Carlos, like there was a ton of them. And like I was saying, and I'm used to seeing the Cutlasses and the Regals, and the Impalas, of course. But the LTDs that you guys had, Elcos, I'm a fan of El Caminos. I'm a fan of Monte Carlos. So from the bone stock original, cars you guys had, plus I used to have a 75 Monte Carlo, so that's a body style like yours.
We were talking about it.
And so all that, I mean, it was honestly, I actually I hit a so Candy and Chrome, BCG body.
Hmm.
I was like, yo, they have a ton of Monte Carlos out there. I was like, and I was talking to her, I said, yeah, there was like non-stop Montes. And that was really honestly that. And like I said, it was really cool to see everybody. And you guys all really did put an effort to stick together, for the cruise and everything. And like I said, it really was, I was really impressed. And I really liked like all the Monte Carlo, the super sports, the 79s, the 78s that I seen, of course, the 77s, the convertible Monte. Those really caught my attention, and the amount of Monte Carlos really was one of the biggest things I walked away with, honestly, and really, and the people, and as much as I seen all these people, I see nobody mean mugging at all, not even the females.
No, and
And
that was a good thing, and that's what I say. I was like, a lot of people understand, that didn't happen overnight. It's not like people just come out here and we're all friendly to each other. This is people that run a long time. Same thing like down there in Cali. You see them every weekend. Your ladies get to know each other. You get to know everybody. You get to know their kids. They get to know your kids. So that's one thing. Like that's why I love my city a lot. I really love Seattle because that's one thing. It's been very as diverse that it is. I mean, like firsthand, you got to see all the different people out there. The Polynesians, Asian Americans, everybody was out there, the Mexicans, the island, everybody. But you didn't see no dividedness in there. You didn't see one, people over here, one people over here. You seen everybody together, offering whatever they wanted, whatever you wanted. I told you, I was like, you're more than welcome at everybody's tent. And when you came up, everybody was welcoming, try to shake your
yep.
hand, say what's up to you, what do you need, what do you want, anything. And sorry about the walking, bro. You should have called me early
No,
in the
that's
morning. I would have
normal.
been. I should
Yeah,
tell y'all.
it just that whole weekend I did from Saturday. I did a picnic Saturday. I did a cruise night after that picnic, and then Sunday I did another cruise night, and then I was there all day for the picnic and the cruise night. And I don't stay still. So
I
I
noticed.
mean, yeah. So I'm always moving around, trying to get a different vantage point, whatever. So it was on me. It just, I mean, like, damn, I was feeling it. It was a long weekend, but it was a good weekend. It was really good.
And that was hey, and before we ended, I'll tell you guys like this, Rick. It's not about me saying, "Hey, man, I need you back out here." Right? A lot of people say, "Oh, I want to get you out. I want to get you out here." No, I'm telling you, and this is what I told you from the beginning. I said, "Man, if I'm hitting you up, it's because I'm serious. I'm gonna get you out here regardless of what the circumstances are." So when I say I'm gonna get you back out here again, we're gonna work something out. And it's not gonna be for no walking event. It's gonna be, and something major, something that's big in the north. Other people from, other states are gonna come out to. I'll get you up here for something like that. Like I said, we're going to talk about it more. But,
Yeah,
this is, and that's why I said to you guys, for anybody out there, any opportunities that you guys think you might have for myself, or even trying to hit up Rick, trying to get him out there to your guys' state if he hasn't been there yet, what I would say is just do it.
yeah.
Take
Just
the
ask.
time, take the time, work it out, whatever, come prepared though. Don't just come with hopes like, hey man, I'm hoping you can come over here, come prepared and,
Yeah,
because like I said, you're a guest in another person's city, so you have to be taken care of regardless. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Anybody looks at it, that's just what you're supposed to do. When somebody comes to your city, like I would expect the same from you if I came down to San Jose. I'd
yeah,
expect to get taken care of. You
yep.
know what I mean? But same thing. I was like, Rick, whenever you know what I mean? Whenever you come up here again, man, I got you. We're going to take care of you up here. But I really appreciate the opportunity. Seattle as a whole, I know we appreciated the opportunity, bro. Thank you for the videos, the photos that you took, and
Yeah.
everybody
And I appreciate it.
guys a lot for pushing the Mack Shot at the Low Society, the Beaches Lowriders, the Custom Vida, and everybody else who has any type of entrepreneurship or anything that they're doing around the lowrider game, man. Big shout out to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rick, anything else you want to tell people up here from Seattle before we get off of here?
I did talk to a couple people from Seattle, so hopefully they see this. They actually had asked me about this event, and they just released the flyer today or yesterday. I think it was yesterday. But King of the Streets, San Francisco, is August 20th.
Yep.
I had a lot of people ask me about this event, and literally the flyer just, they just put the flyer out yesterday. So that's August 20th, and that is a show, a hop, and a cruise. It's a whole day event in Frisco. I'm telling you, hopefully, last year I wasn't there for it, so I can't really speak on it. It was at a different place, but this year it's going to be at the piers, and usually this event is a very hot event. It's all day. They cruise legitimately, like they actually get a permit to cruise in the where they cruise at, and you know if you're gonna do because a couple people said they wanted to get out there, so I said I'll let you know. And so anybody, it's not my event, but I had a lot of people ask me about that event, so I just want to make sure I'm conveying it. That it's happening August 20th, and like I said, it's something like you've never really seen. It's really worth it if you're gonna do a travel. If you're gonna bring your car, it's really worth it. So
You're gonna be there August 20th and San
yeah,
Francisco at the King of the Streets
yep,
for right?
yep. And like I said, it's a hop. They do get hoppers from all over. Before the pandemic, it got really popular. They had people from Vegas, they had LA, they had people just brought their cars out just to cruise, not even just to go to the show. They just went to go cruise, and you had cars from all over, different places and out of state. So it was getting to that point when it was really going to be a big deal in Northern California. It's probably the biggest event in Northern California. Uh, so
Well,
yeah, but I did have many people ask me about that, so I just want to give that information.
I want to come down, so I'm gonna say it right now. Mac shot it. I'm gonna be there August 20th. I'm gonna go down to the King of the Streets, Frisco, be out there with the homie Pinches Lowriders taking shots, man. And hopefully
Yeah.
I can ride in somebody's whip. I won't be bringing mine down, so somebody in Frisco hit me up if I can ride with you, doc. With you, let me know, please. But hey, to everybody up here, I'm gonna spread the word. Pinches Lowriders, please, man, tag me in the post, the flyer. I'll go ahead and put the word out here, man. And
Definitely.
again, thank you for coming up here to this event. Thank you for everything that you did for the Northwest. I appreciate it a lot. And to everybody
Yep.
watching, man, guys.
All right. You guys have a good night. All right. Well, thank you for coming on once again, and we'll talk soon.
All right, brother. Thank you, man.
All right.
This episode of Custom Vida was brought to you by BCG Body. For all your custom G-Body parts needs, Google BCG Body. Salvaged parts, brand new digital dashes, you name it. Check out the website. Also follow them on Instagram.
To see more, go to customvita.com.